at that table of whatever the hell those people were, all those heavyweights, everyone had noodles to eat, whole wheat noodles, but I had, it wasn't guff, I had live mealworms.
Oh yeah, you had live worms.
And I had to hold the mealworms over and they went into my mouth. And I ate them. It was a little like getting in the black slime in your episode. Nobody else would get in the black slime.
I'll get in the black slime. Quote, Jonathan Frakes.
What is this? I said to Will Toms. He said, it's fine, it's Metamucil and black printer's ink. Cat shit's nothing.
You jumped into that black slime like somebody jumping off a sinking ship that was on fire. I thought it was awesome that you did that.
Johnny was amazing because he ate stuff and he did stuff that none of us would have done.
And he slept with stuff.
And he slept with stuff. but then they always had to kill him. Or they died.
Yeah, I had an idea that I pitched more than once that they didn't buy. We worked at Paramount Pictures, which was really a magical place to go to work every day. It's still maybe the greatest studio in Hollywood to visit or just to walk around. The history there is just phenomenal. And so I had this idea that we would go back in time and land at Paramount Pictures. And in order to be inconspicuous, we got jobs on a Flash Gordon movie or something. But no, they did not buy that at all.
I remember going to Jeannie Roddenberry, the first season, and I brought the Oliver Sacks book, The Awakening, and I said, God, this would be great for an episode if we would do that, and everyone was like, nah, I don't think so. And then of course, Robin Williams did the movie, but I wanted to do something that was that kind of, getting people out of comas, a little bit of Ridley Scott kind of stuff.
Alrighty then, so our next question is from Derek. Derek?
First off, I want to say how amazing it's been to have you all here. My question is for all of you. You guys must know how influential you've been to all of us here in this crowd. My question for you is, how has that influence on us influenced you in your lives?
I am such a better person for having influenced you. And I thank you for it.
Good answer.
Well, I wouldn't have even been here had it not been for the fans after the first season. It was the fans that sort of brought me back. So that's quite an influence, I think. Thank you.
She said, I love you too. No.
Come to my room.
That is what Jean-Luc wanted to hear, Dr. Crusher. To attempt to strike a serious note, This might be a good time to leave, by the way. Everything that has happened to me and that I have achieved in the last 15, 17 years has been radically affected by the 7 years and the 4 movies that we were doing Next Generation. And the one way in which I can isolate that one fact, it was that what I did with my friends and what you all showed us was enough to give me confidence to believe that I could do this job. Because until I went into TNG, I seriously doubted that I could. And so I look back daily and I'm grateful for the opportunity that I had to turn my career and my work and my life around.
Because I think we all have the experience of when people come to our tables and they, people come up to me and say, I became a psychologist because of you, or, no, I'm just coughing, I've been sick, sorry, I'm making a joke, and I'm sure, Lavar's had the same thing. I'm not sure many people come up and say, I became a Klingon because of you, but anyway. Although I'm probably wrong there. It's the biggest compliment you could ever give an actor. We're actors. They're not our words. We're just saying someone else's words. And the fact that we make such an impression on you and you look up to us, obviously. I think some people could say it's it's a huge responsibility. I personally think that it's the biggest tribute you could give to us, to be so inspired by us that you go out and do the jobs that we played on TV. It always makes me really emotional, and I think we'd all agree with that. It's absolutely amazing that we have influenced you like that.
I think I agree how much it influenced my life, and it took me a while to fully comprehend how wonderful the show was, actually. I felt very uncomfortable in the beginning because I wasn't used to people coming around and asking for your autograph when they hadn't even seen the show yet. It's just because you were with Star Trek. But as I traveled around and started to go to conventions, I really found that there were so many amazing people who were fans for reasons that really didn't have anything to do with me. It had to do with something much bigger than me. And the time when it hit home the most for me was that one of the commanders of the space shuttle was a huge fan, and he emailed me from the space station. And he was talking about all of our characters and how amazing, it was and everything. And I was going, but you're up there, you're actually risking your life. I'm looking at a star field. And he said, yeah, but it kind of is the hope, it's the idea, the possibility that the show brought to so many people, and it really did make a difference. It makes a difference because we go with the belief, and so I don't know, I was in awe of him, and he was in awe of the show, so that was kind of the time that it hit home for me.
Was that Frank DeWin?
No.
It wasn't, because there have been 2. I was lucky enough to take part in a video hookup with the space station, because the only European commander of the space station there has ever been is a man called Frank DeWin, who is Belgian, and during our conversation, which began with me saying to him, why would a real spaceman want to talk to a fake one? And he told me what you have just said, that it was watching the show that made him want to transfer from being an ordinary airman to being an astronaut. But then he he held up in front of the camera on board the space station a photograph of him and the entire crew, which consisted of, I think, one Canadian, 2 Americans, a Russian, and they were all wearing Star Trek uniforms. I said, oh, that is so cool that you photoshopped the uniforms. And he said, no, we were wearing them.
Thank you guys. That was awesome. Next question.
Wait a minute. Yeah, but I had my photo taken with Neil Armstrong.
Marina won, the rest of the cast, nothing.
Remember in the first one, John Lee Pickard.
Patrick meant to say Q.
Patrick, would you like to revise your answer?
I'll help you.
Yep, it was Q.
And just to confirm, none of you knew that that was about to happen, correct? Surprises are rare in this world.
Yeah. John, when you first signed up for the show, did you have any idea that Q would become so incredibly memorable for everybody in the world?
Yes.
You knew right away.
I was omnipotent. I knew I was going to even be here, right? Gene Roddenberry said to me on the 3rd day of shooting, you have no idea what you've gotten yourself into.
Did you know you were coming back, like, a lot? Did you know from the beginning that you were going to be a recurring, always-on guy?
No. It was a one-shot.
Well, the fact, I mean, you were only in 9 or 10 episodes of all of the newer iterations of Star Trek, so do you think the fact that the Q appearances were fairly few and far between, do you think that in part helped the popularity of the character? Because I remember watching TNG, and when you showed up, I knew it was going to be handled in the best way possible.
Yeah, actually, yes. I think, less is more.
Did it surprise you then when the character resonated so much?
Yes, although infinite powers, no responsibility is probably something that a lot of people out here would like to have. So I guess it touched a chord.
Would you like to have infinite power and no responsibility?
You mean, what do I do with it?
Well, let's stay on the same topic to the rest of the cast. Any other favorite, foes or obstacles, moments of, finding the script and, oh, this is going to be a fun one to shoot. I can't wait to see how we get out of this jam that we found ourselves in.
I remember a moment with a very famous guest star that we had, the great Mick Fleetwood from Fleetwood Mac, who agreed to do our show He wanted to be on the show so badly, he shaved a beard he had had for 30 years to wear the head of a fish.
Wow.
He wanted to do this show so badly, he was willing to play seafood.
They eat seafood, as I recall.
Exactly.
Out of a barrel.
Because that's what happened. He made an entrance in the in the transporter, and he had one word to say, and that word was food. Take 18, he still couldn't remember the word, and it was they put it on a cue card finally. Food. It was a daunting moment. And we were trying to help him. We were off camera going.
Rock stars, right? There's a great quote between Q, the flowers are being distributed. There's a great quote that Jean-Luc Picard has about Q, where he says that he's devious, immoral, not to be trusted. And then there's another quote that I really like that Q has about Jean-Luc Picard that basically says.
Did you see that? He just gave him a heart, right? A kiss on the lips.
Truth be told, is the only white man on this course.
He's the only white.
Aside from Jonathan.
I thought you forgot.
And then there's Brent.
Hurt.
So there is a quote from Jean-Luc Picard about Q that basically says, or about Q about Jean-Luc Picard that basically says, he's the closest thing in this universe I have to a friend. So there was obviously a disconnect between the way they felt. John, do you think that Q saw Jean-Luc as a friend?
Yes. More than a friend. Yes, of course. I mean, our job is to find as much conflict as possible in all things to make it work. So yes.
They were friends.
They were friends, and they were enemies, and they were, all sorts of things, a multitude of different things.
Frenemies.
Thorn in the side, basically. Do you...
Through your poem.
That's right. Oh yeah, that's right.
You had me bayoneted through the stomach on a planet!
Why, man?
You told me that your stomach hurts.
Because there was a bayonet through the middle of it that you put there!
I don't remember.
Never do.
To switch gears, so much of the technology that was presented on Star Trek The Next Generation has now come to pass.
Never afraid of it.
I was asking a question, but I don't remember it anymore. Technology, yes. So much has come true. Do you think, Brent, that we will ever see a humanoid android to the same caliber that Data was? Will we ever see that happen?
How would I know?
I just love how Frankie is.
In your professional actor opinion.
That's even dubious.
Possibly, but he won't be as funny.
Yeah.
Right.
Thank you.
I was just going to say, surely we have them, they're the front runners of the Republican Party.
Fashion subroutine down.
No, and they're definitely not as funny.
I can't sing as well as you.
You guys get pummeled
all the time with lots of questions. I'm just wondering if there's any question that you've been dying to ask.
You got 10 more minutes
My,
for all of us. How's that?
my feeling is... My feeling is that what LeVar has just expressed sums up the very core of what we did and why we are here, and that John should join us. The other absent member of this group has joined us, makes it seem perfect. And that is a note on which I am very happy to pull down the curtain.
Yes, I'm here. All right.